Everyone's talking about hypersonic missiles. What no one's talking about is the invisible shield that could make them useless. It's not science fiction, and it's already being deployed to protect the USS Gerald R. Ford. This is the USS Ford, a $13 billion, 100,000-ton fortress of American sovereignty. It is the most advanced, most powerful, and most expensive warship ever built. It is a symbol of undisputed American power. And in the remote deserts of China, the People's Liberation Army has built full-scale mock-ups of it for one reason: to practice destroying it. Their weapon is designed to do what was once thought impossible: kill an American supercarrier. They call it the DF-21D, the carrier killer. It's an anti-ship ballistic missile, or ASBM, and it changes the rules of naval warfare. For 75 years, no U.S. carrier has faced a credible, high-end threat. They have sailed the world's oceans with impunity. That era may be over. The carrier killer and its even longer-range cousin, the DF-26, are not like other missiles. They don't skim the waves. They fly a ballistic trajectory, launching up into the thin upper atmosphere, into space itself, before plunging down at their target. Their speed is terrifying. They travel at over Mach 5, qualifying them as hypersonic weapons. China's DF-21D is estimated to reach speeds of Mach 10 on re-entry. For a long-range engagement, the flight time from launch to impact is estimated to be just 25 minutes. Imagine you are the captain of a U.S. destroyer protecting the Ford. A warning flashes from a satellite. A launch. You have 25 minutes. But how do you stop it? Your ship is armed with the most advanced interceptors in the world, but they were designed to hit predictable targets, like cruise missiles or traditional ballistic missiles. This is different. The Chinese warhead isn't just a dumb piece of metal falling from the sky. It's a maneuverable re-entry vehicle, or MA-RV. As it screams through the atmosphere, it is actively hunting. It's using its own sensors to find the carrier, making tiny, unpredictable adjustments. It's a bullet that can dodge. Your interceptors, even traveling at incredible speeds, might not be able to calculate its final evasive path. This entire complex system is what military planners call the kill chain. It starts with finding the carrier, fixing its location, tracking its movement, targeting it with a missile, launching that missile, and finally, assessing the damage. But here's the problem for China. The Pacific Ocean is 60 million square miles. Finding a carrier strike group in that vastness is the single hardest part of the equation. This is why they've invested so heavily in long-range, over-the-horizon radar and a constellation of spy satellites. They are desperately trying to build a system that can find the Ford, so their 25-minute carrier killer can do its job. This is the nightmare scenario. The goal isn't even to sink the carrier with a single shot. The goal is a mission kill. One strike is all it takes. One ASBM punching through the Ford's 4.5-acre flight deck. The carrier is no longer a fortress. It cannot launch or recover its multi-billion-dollar air wing. It is a crippled giant, a $13 billion target, dead in the water. And this threat isn't just from China. Russia has its Kinzhal, Iran has the Gulf of Persia, India has the Danush. The age of the hypersonic carrier killer is here. So, how does the Navy respond? How does America protect its most valuable asset? When a threat moves at Mach 10, you cannot outrun it. You cannot outmaneuver it. You must engage it with a weapon that moves at the only speed that's faster, the speed of light. This is America's answer. Directed energy. It is the invisible shield. We are entering a new age of warfare, defined not by gunpowder, but by power grids. Not by bigger explosions, but by focused, silent beams of light. And this system is no longer a scientist's dream. It is being deployed today. It is called HELIOS, high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance. Developed by Lockheed Martin, HELIOS is the first tactical laser weapon system to be truly integrated into a U.S. Navy warship. And this is where the Ford's shield comes from. The USS Ford never sails alone. It is the heart of a carrier strike group, a castle protected by a ring of steel. It's Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers. These destroyers are the sword and the shield of the fleet, and one of them, the USS Preble, was the first to be armed with HELIOS. This is how it works. HELIOS is a layered defense. It has two modes, soft kill and hard kill. In its soft kill mode, it acts as an optical dazzler. It can pinpoint the sensors on an incoming missile or drone and blast them with a beam of light that blinds them, denying enemy situational awareness. The missile is still flying, but it can no longer see its target. It is a ghost, flying blind until it crashes uselessly into the sea. But if blinding isn't enough, HELIOS switches to hard kill. It unleashes a powerful, concentrated beam of energy. This isn't a Star Wars pew-pew effect. It is a silent, invisible, and incredibly violent transfer of thermal energy. The 60-kilowatt laser focuses on a single point of the incoming missile. It dumps an immense amount of heat into its skin, its guidance system, or its warhead. The airframe melts, the electronics fry. The warhead can be detonated in midair. The missile simply disintegrates. But what makes HELIOS truly revolutionary are two things: its speed and its magazine. Its speed is obvious. It is a weapon of light. There is no travel time. There is no evasion. If you can see it, you can hit it. Its magazine is the real game changer. A destroyer carries a fixed number of interceptor missiles. A single SM-6 missile costs nearly $5 million. A single SM-3 interceptor for ballistic missile defense costs over $20 million. Every time you fire one, your magazine gets smaller. You can and will run out. The cost of a single HELIOS shot? A few dollars. The cost of the diesel fuel it takes to generate the electricity. This is the true economic revolution of directed energy. In modern naval combat, an adversary can use a $100,000 drone to force a U.S. destroyer to fire a $5 million missile. This is called an unfavorable cost-exchange ratio. A defender can literally go bankrupt just by winning. HELIOS flips that script. It can burn a $100,000 drone out of the sky for the price of a gallon of fuel. It makes defense cheap again. It has a deep, almost unlimited magazine. As long as the ship has power and cooling, it can fire and keep firing. It can engage dozens, even hundreds of threats, from small drones to enemy boats to incoming missiles, without ever depleting its primary missile arsenal. This is the true power of the system. The USS Preble and its sister ships are the Ford's laser shield. But the most critical piece of this puzzle isn't just the laser itself, it's the brain that controls it. HELIOS is the first laser to be fully integrated with the U.S. Navy's legendary AEGIS combat system. AEGIS is the centralized network that links the ship's radars, sonars, and weapons together. It is the brain that can see in all directions, track thousands of targets, and decide what to kill and when. Now that brain has a new weapon. HELIOS isn't a bolt-on, it is AEGIS. And AEGIS itself is part of a larger network. It can share data with other ships, and even with F-35 fighter jets, creating a single composite picture of the battlefield. This means the USS Preble could theoretically fire its laser at a target being tracked by a different ship miles away. This isn't just a shield, it's a networked web of light. When a threat is detected, the AEGIS brain can now make a new calculation. Is the threat a small drone? Don't waste a $5 million missile. Use the laser. Is it a swarm of attack boats? Use the laser. Is it a hypersonic MA-RV in its final seconds of flight? Use the laser to blind it. Or use the laser and a missile at the same time. It gives the U.S. Navy options it has never had before. But even at 60 kilowatts, HELIOS is already solving one of the Navy's most urgent and immediate problems: the rise of cheap, disposable drones. We see them in the Red Sea. We see them in the Black Sea. HELIOS is the perfect weapon for this. It's a high-tech Gatling gun that never runs out of ammo. It can sweep the skies of low-end threats, freeing up the ship's expensive missiles, which can then wait for the real threats. But there's a question, a big one. The first HELIOS system on the Preble is 60 kilowatts. That is incredibly powerful. It is more than capable of obliterating drones, boats, and even some missiles. But is 60 kilowatts enough to stop a hardened Mach 10 carrier killer plunging from space? The honest answer? Probably not. Not consistently. The 60 kilowatt laser isn't the final weapon. It's the first shot. It's the proof of concept. And the Pentagon, which is spending roughly $1 billion a year on directed energy, is not stopping there. The Department of Defense is on an aggressive timeline to scale up. The plan is to field a 500 kilowatt laser by 2025 and megawatt-level lasers by 2026. This is the true carrier killer. A megawatt-class laser is a weapon of terrifying power. It is powerful enough to neutralize ballistic missiles and hypersonic weapons. It is a shield of pure energy that can burn a threat out of the sky at the edge of the atmosphere. And this brings us back to the USS Ford, a Nimitz-class carrier. Our older generation cannot power these weapons. They do not have the electrical output. They were designed in the 1970s. But the USS Gerald R. Ford, it's different. It was designed from the keel up for this future. Its two A-1B nuclear reactors were built to generate 3 times the electrical power of a Nimitz carrier. For years, people criticized the ship's cost and its new systems, wondering why it needed that much power. Now we know. The Ford was built to be a floating power station for a new generation of warfare. It has the power to run the sensors, the supercomputers, and one day, the megawatt-class lasers themselves. The carrier will become its own shield. In 1906, Great Britain launched His Majesty's ship Dreadnought. It was a battleship so revolutionary, so fast, and so powerful that it instantly made every other battleship on Earth obsolete. It defined a new era of naval power. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the dreadnought of our time. China has built an incredible weapon. They have gambled that their carrier killer missile could end a century of American naval dominance. But they built a weapon to defeat a 20th century navy. America was busy building a 21st century one, powered by the atom and shielded by light.